What if the greatest love story of your life started with a joke? What if you never planned to fall in love? What if love fell into you, disguised as laughter, disguised as a casual conversation over a fence, disguised as a joke you said but secretly meant with every single cell of your soul? What if the moment you said something funny, your heart was actually screaming something beautiful? What if her smile, that one smile, wasn't just a reaction, but an answer? What if I told you that the most powerful I love you ever spoken in human history was never spoken at all? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will make you rethink every joke you've ever made, every smile someone gave you back, and every moment you told yourself, "No, I'm just being friendly." Because sometimes, you're not just being friendly. Sometimes, you're being brave. What if love doesn't arrive wearing a suit, carrying roses, speaking poetry? What if love arrives in old clothes, leaning against a doorframe, saying something ridiculous that makes both of you laugh, but only one of you is laughing on the outside? I want to tell you about a moment, a small moment, the kind of moment that doesn't look like anything from the outside, but from the inside, it feels like the entire universe just shifted 2 inches to the left, and everything looks different now. I joked. I actually joked. I said to my neighbor, "If you ever need a husband for an hour, call me." I said it like it was nothing. I said it the way people say, "We should catch up sometime," not really meaning it, or at least pretending not to really mean it, protecting myself behind the shield of humor, because humor is safe. Humor is acceptable. Humor doesn't get rejected the way truth does. But she smiled. And then she said, "Only an hour? Now let me tell you something about love. Real love. The kind that doesn't announce itself with fireworks, but instead taps you quietly on the shoulder while you're busy making jokes to protect yourself. Love is the most terrifying thing a human being can experience. Not because it hurts, though it does. Not because it risks, though it does. But because love forces you to be seen. Completely, entirely, embarrassingly seen. And when you make a joke about wanting to be someone's husband, even for an hour, what you're actually doing is holding up a tiny mirror and saying, "Look, this is what I want. Please don't laugh at the real version of this." Love in its purest, most raw, most honest form is this. It is the thing you hide inside a joke because you're not yet brave enough to say it straight. It is the heartbeat that doubles when someone laughs at the right moment. It is the warmth that spreads through your chest, not when someone says something romantic, but when someone simply gets you. When someone takes your joke and extends it, not mockingly, not dismissively, but with a smile that says, "I see you. I hear the real question underneath that joke, and my answer is bigger than your question." That is what love is. It is not a declaration. It is a recognition. Two people recognizing each other across the ordinary, mundane, everyday landscape of life. Recognizing each other not in a dramatic moment, but in a Tuesday afternoon, in a casual remark, in a joke about being a husband for an hour. When I said "call me," I meant it as a joke. But the truth that was sitting underneath that joke like a stone underneath shallow water, was that I would have shown up. Not for an hour, not for a day, but for every single ordinary, unremarkable, beautiful day that follows one another like pages in a book nobody reads dramatically. They just read quietly, peacefully, together. And she knew. That is what love does, it knows. Before the words are right, before the timing is perfect, before the courage is fully assembled, love already knows. She knew that my joke was a question. She knew that my laugh was nervous. She knew that the 1-hour offer was actually a lifetime offer wearing a costume. And she didn't make it awkward. She didn't correct me. She didn't look away. She smiled. The kind of smile that doesn't happen in your mouth first. It happens somewhere deeper, somewhere behind the eyes. The kind of smile that says, "I've been waiting for you to say something like that." And then she said, "Only an hour?" Only an hour. 2 words. Do you understand what those 2 words did? Those 2 words took my joke and turned it into a conversation. Those 2 words took my fear and replaced it with possibility. Those 2 words said without saying, "You can offer more. I'm ready to receive more." Don't shrink yourself into an hour when what I want is a lifetime. Love, and I want you to understand this deeply. I want this to land in the softest part of you. Love is not always a grand gesture. Love is sometimes a raised eyebrow. Love is sometimes a 2-word response to a joke that wasn't really a joke. Love is the moment 2 people stop pretending they're just neighbors and start admitting, silently, with smiles and extended jokes, that they are something else entirely. Something warmer. Something that doesn't have a word simple enough to contain it. We spend our whole lives thinking love will look like the movies. We think it will arrive with music playing behind it, with the perfect lighting, with our hair looking exactly right. But love, actual love, arrives while you're standing outside your door, saying something silly, hoping the other person doesn't hear the truth too loudly beneath the laughter. Love is brave in the most cowardly disguise, and sometimes, the universe is kind enough to give you a neighbor who smiles and says, "Only an hour?" And in that smile, in those 2 words, an entire future unfolds, quietly, certainly, beautifully, like a door opening that neither of you technically knocked on, but both of you had been standing in front of for a very long time. So here is what I want you to take with you, not just from this speech, but into your actual life, into your actual conversations, into the moments you're tempted to hide your real feelings inside a harmless joke. Say the joke, mean the truth, and pay attention to who extends it. Because the person who takes your guarded, protected, carefully wrapped in humor feelings and hands them back to you bigger, warmer, and more generous than you offered them, that person is not just a good neighbor. That person is not just a good friend. That person is someone love has quietly been preparing for you while you were busy pretending you were just joking. Love doesn't always say, "I love you." Sometimes love says, "Only an hour?" And that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything. Never underestimate a smile. Never underestimate 2 words. And never underestimate the courage it takes to make a joke you secretly, desperately, completely mean.